Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Three Faces in the Dark podcast. I'm Big L, and join with me today for the podcast is Joseph and Bias Opinions. It has been about 3.5 weeks into the league already. Maybe we can share what are we up to these days. Maybe we start with Joseph.
Okay, so I've been playing spellcaster, or no, actually minor, with the automation detonate mines. Uh, it is really quite fun with this automation of detonate mines, and then with the amount of mine throwing speed that you get, you won't feel like you're lacking on like spell echo or weaken spell echo. It still feels great to play spells. Yep. And then so I've been like trying to unlock all my map slots and everything. And then but for my atlas I'm running Delirium and Harvest with some of the Scarab drop stuff. Yep. But but so far I think I've been playing this for about a week or so. I still didn't manage to find any like very valuable scarabs. Like I think the maybe a couple of the few like maybe 40, 60 C scarabs. Nothing too big. Yeah.
So maybe I'll ask, what spell are you playing on the mines?
X Blast.
Okay, that's a meta skill. Okay, Bias. So what are you playing?
Right. So actually, I tried leveling a new character. I tried. What was it again? I totally forgot. Oh no, Blade Blast. I did before. Okay. So one of the characters I tried leveling was Saboteur. I tried the Blade Blast of unloading. I with automated detonation. So with what you do is they use the arcane brand, and then you stick the blade vortex onto it. I think there was a build spotlight of the week on it. The playstyle is clunky, at least at the lower levels, but I think it's a very strong combination. For people who enjoy a little bit of clunk and a lot of power that comes with clunk, I think it's actually a very strong skill. It should be considered slightly overtuned if you can handle the clunker. But I'm the kind of person who wants to watch anime while playing, so it's not really the kind of build for me. Yeah, I think I made another one, but I can't remember it right now. So never mind. I went back to my carrion golems because I got bored, and I thought that my carrion golems was okay. It just needed more currency, so I made more currency. Like I'm such a genius, I can't take it. So what I did was because Zizaran, not Ziz, Gezi. Gezi was like hard showing that Holy Relic of Conviction was strong. So what I did was I ran the Merciless Lab. I got two Holy Relics of Convictions, one of which I got to 20% quality. That's my first 3 divs. Then my build is off to the races already. Cause like 3 divs makes a huge difference when you're starting out. Yep. So my main Atlas strat now is Bestiary. I intend to make a video about it, so please watch it.
Okay, that seems like a nice strat. Okay, back to myself. I think I have been quite restless with PoE. Actually, I haven't been playing that much. I mean, mainly I'm just playing PoE for fun. I think previously I was rushing for challenges, and I pretty much got everything done last week. And then I was trying to take a break from PoE. Then I made my second character. I'm playing a Poison Pathfinder now. Right now, I'm crafting the gear for it, and depends on what I hit on the graveyard craft. If I do hit a +2 spell for chaos type, then I'll play Forbidden Rite. But if I'm playing, but if I hit something else with +1 to all spells and I'll easily craft the feast one, then I'll play a Reed Poison Pathfinder. So I do have the flexibility there. Then I was because I was done with the league for a while, so I actually lent my Mage Blood to Joseph here to let him play his Atlas faster. Then I'm just chilling with the new belt from Overshaper. I think the Turn of Tides belt is a very strong option, and I think for next league, if I'm still playing PoE as hardcore, I will go for that belt before purchasing my Mage Blood.
I would like to mention that Big L playing less than usual is still more than most mere mortals.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to enjoy the game now. So I'm playing at a slower pace, but just chilling. But I think there is some form of pressure whenever league started. I think I got a bit of a minor depression when my com couldn't perform for the second day, and kind of set me back for a few days. But I think we will touch on a very interesting point about the league economy later during the podcast itself, because I think this is one of the also quite unique scenario in terms of league progression for the economy, apart from Affliction, because Affliction was a special case where everybody has free juice from the maps. Same for the current league. The free juice comes from T17, which we will talk about it later. All right. So, what are your feeling about how do you feel about the current prices of divines? I last saw that divines are one divine for 100C.
Yeah, at first I was quite shocked when I list something for like 2.5 div, and then the person gave me 50 div. I was like, huh? 50C.
Wait, what is this? What is this bullshit? I just checked the PoE Ninja. It's 96C, 97C now.
So, I believe there is a similar number to this, and that was during Heist League. So Heist League, you remember there were too much supply of Exile. So back then the premium currency was Exile, not Divines. So back then people were trading Chaos more than they wanted Exile, because everybody have a surplus of Exiles. So this is like a simulation of Heist, but it's just that currently I think the economy is at a more healthy state than what Heist was. Heist was because there was too many Exiles and there wasn't enough. People were just holding on too many Exiles, nowhere to spend. Whereas people were using Chaos away for their maps. Yeah.
Oh shit! I realized I have 9 divines in my stash and I haven't converted them to chaos yet.
So we are looking at the economy, right? So I think this is definitely one of the recent leaks where we see divine drop to 1 to 100 or maybe even 1 to 90 in a few days to come, right? And I think we all believe. I mean, I don't know about buyers or Joseph if they have ran any T17 maps yet. Okay, they are shaking their heads, but okay. So I've ran a few of them, and to be honest, when I was rolling them, I was rolling for the challenges. So if I was running it with the mindset of profit, I think you really have to take a lot more chaos to roll till your character can do the map safely and at the same time still preserve the value for it to drop enough to cover the amount of chaos that you use. So on average, every map I will roughly spend about 20C to 40C to roll a mediocre map. But if you are rolling for the high rolls, I think you have to go up to 80C per map. So that's almost 1 div per map. And sometimes the rewards that you get from the maps are not very obvious because some of the guaranteed money back is actually from the boss fragments because the boss can drop from like 1 to 3. I've only ever seen close to 2. I've never seen the boss drop 3 fragments, but I've heard that people have seen 3 fragments drop from the boss. And if you are lucky, Katarina and Lycia, so the Sanctuary and the Ziggurat map has a higher chance to drop the more expensive fragments like the Maven fragment, which is the reality fragment, and the devouring fragment. Yeah, so these are the more expensive fragments. Whereas if you're looking at Fortress, Abomination, and I forget what's the last T17. These 3 maps are not as good for to farm the fragments. Yeah.
Nope, haven't touched T17s, haven't even touched T16s yet. All I know is Grimroll said T17s are strong, so it must be true.
Yeah, I don't think my character can do T17s. I mean, probably enough damage, but I think I'll get 1 shot easily.
Alright, I actually have a dumb question. How do I get T17s?
So you get T17 by actually getting the Void Stone from the Atlas. So the more Void Stone you have, the higher it is the chance to drop T17, right? So I've gotten T17 map drops from T14 maps all the way to 15, 16. So all those maps can drop. It's just that it's chance based, right? And I think every Void Stone gives you about 0.4% chance. So you add all up together, it's 1.6 chance. Yeah. And if I mean I'm not going to go through the map equity system, but generally if a map drops, it has a chance to keep going. There will be a PT system all the way up to the tier that you can drop. And I believe if you are doing any Atlas strats that produces more maps, technically you can also get more T17 that way. Generally through map dupes. Yeah. So yeah. So we are looking at the prices of the maps now. And generally you can tell that the most expensive maps during the time when I was still selling them, it was Ziggurat, which is the Katarina boss, because the fragments are good. The only reason that Fortresses maps are good prices right now is because people are taking these maps to roll a very popular strategy, which is to roll it with barrels, and you use it together with Back to Basics. Yeah, so the moment you hit something, everything explodes, and they drop loot. The barrels drop loot, and it's multiplied by Back to Basics. Yeah, so if not, I think there was a period of time when Ziggurat map was the highest and Fortresses map was selling at the cheapest at around 40C back then. But this is just a new trend, and I think this is a very healthy way to play the game right now because everybody is discovering strats every day, every other day, right?
So technically speaking, like farming T17 maps might actually be a very legit currency generating strategy. Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, I think it's like any other strategy. You actually have to have some capital to invest in rolling the maps first. Once you roll the maps carefully to fit your strategy, you must also have a character capable to do to do the maps.
Oh no, I don't mean farming the T17 maps. I meant farming T14 maps in order to get T17 maps and selling the maps.
So I kind of did that for a while because I was farming Guardian Invites, and when I was farming Guardian Invites, I did a destructive play with map drop strategy, and because of that, I get a lot of the Elder Guardian maps. I got a lot of Conqueror maps. At the same time, I also got quite a lot of T17 maps, which I kept to use for challenges, and the surplus I sold it out. I remember selling 30 Fortresses map for 9 Divine or something. So at least back then, that was the conversion rates. But if you're talking about now, I think for 30 Fortresses map, if you sell it at 70 C each, is 21 Divine. Yeah, so you play around the numbers game. I think it's still a viable strat to farm at T16 to get T17 to sell out. But if your build can handle T17 and you don't mind to roll them, I think T17 has a very legit way to earn money as well. Yeah. So, do you guys think that this is the first league where GG actually implemented the best chaos scene ever?
Well, I think that kind of makes sense, and it's also the intended use of chaos, where you actually use it as a crafting tool rather than like God knows what did they use it for heist again, like map modifiers or something.
I mean, the primary ways to use chaos is actually through map device and through your crafting of your gear that maybe resist. The resist craft is 4C, mana craft is 4C.
Yeah,
Those are 4Cs.
most people don't chaos as an actual crafting step because it's so chaotic. Like they would rather use essences, fossils, or like any
correct.
other.
Now, I mean, chaos is normally treated as the basic currency for people to trade around, right? Such that, yeah. But if you are really using chaos to craft, people will just tell you to buy essence, to buy fossils to do your crafting, right? And this league we have a very tedious way to craft, which is the graveyard. If you are willing to learn and you're willing to buy the corpses or you farm your own, I think it's a very rewarding league for players who have the patience to learn and craft their own items. Because it's easy to get 6 T1 items.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's actually quite powerful. Like I haven't figured it out yet, but one thing I want to point out is that I think the best way, if you don't use the crafting very regularly, I think the best way to interact with the league mechanic is to pick up everything as a coffin, and then you control what you put into your necropolis from there. It's way easier as compared to pressing like collect. There you are. Oh, my crematorium is full or something like that. Then you have to slowly go to every single corpse and like turn them into coffins. Yeah.
I wish the convert to coffin icon was bigger.
You should totally change the place with collect, right? Like
Yes.
collect.
So I think okay, so we are going straight for the leagues, the league appreciation and talking shit about the league, right? So currently, right, the way I see it is that the crafting is powerful, but I don't like how GG is implementing tedium together with powerful crafting methods. Because if you have interacted with the graveyard, you would know that they actually divide the corpse into 5 different kinds of base type. So there's beast, humanoid, construct, undead, and zombie, right? And humanoid, sorry, yeah. So basically there are about 5 to 6 base corpse type, And for the most powerful way to craft, which I think that GG should always remember that if it's not the most powerful, people won't interact with the mechanic, right? We always go for the most powerful one, right? If you are going for that, generally you should know that people will try to min-max the fun out of this. And when people min-max too much stuff, they don't find it fun, right? Because now we have to match the corpse type with the adjacent craft, right? And to put adjacent is very annoying. I must say, you have to have the whole plot of corpses all being the same type. So you like the moment I saw that now, I was like thinking, okay, it's either I interact with this, I have to look through at what kind of coffins do I buy. I also have to look at the traits. I have to look at a third party tool just to organize everything together nicely, right? It's just too much work. But if you are willing to go through all the steps, you can generally craft very strong items, right? I would rather they eliminate corpse type, take away 40%, whatever, but buff the other remaining that makes it better, like maybe make the rows and columns go up to 30%. I think that's better. That will be something that can go straight to core, because I think that's fine. But if you are still going to keep all the base types of the corpse, all the five base types, I think these features are definitely not being able to brought to core on.
This type thing seems to be carry over from the previous affliction, the corpse thing. Not sure if they did it on purpose.
It feels like they do it together with there is this new unique from the crafting as well. It's a boots. It's a ravenous. It has a boots that grants you ravenous skill. So basically, you can use if you are going to use the unique boots, you can also look at the corpse type of the monster, right? Which I don't think anybody is realistically using that boots. It's
This ravenous skill is the same as the last league, right?
Yeah.
Where
the blood ascendancy.
Yeah.
I think Bias is trying to look for the books on PoE Ninja, but nobody can find this because it's not even valuable. I mean, you can go to DB and we go from there.
Yeah, the only time I interacted with the graveyard was crafting this boot.
Just scroll down. I think we'll see the books. Yeah, then Veruso Ambition. So unless you are wearing these boots, you're not going to see the base type of the monster, right? So I really don't understand why they want to bring like I mean, it's cool to have the whole of corpse type to be tied to the boots, but you shouldn't make a new league crafting league based on corpse type. And I do believe that maybe it's just their whole design philosophy. If it's going to be so good, it has to be a bit tedious. I don't know. I think eventually we'll just get burnt out from all this min-maxing stuff.
Yeah, I think like potions also. You got to go back to the town, press a well before you get your flask refilled. You know, you got to feel that way.
No, it feels right.
Yeah, feels right.
Yeah, so basically I feel like the league is fine. I think there's a lot of things to be discovered through the whole rework of the scarabs, but currently it feels like the league itself, I think there are like 50-50. Some people really like the league, but they are mainly playing for the strats, but some people are just they like the crafting but they don't like the tedium. So I mean, it's very 50-50. And I mean, eventually we have to talk about the FOMO, right? I think the FOMO came about what was quite strong last league, but because last league everybody had the access to the juice, right? You just have to run the correct way. You have to learn where to run, where to find the whips, and then you can get generally quite juice for the map itself, and then you run. Generally, you'll get a divine maybe in 10 maps. It's not that hard, right? Whereas this league, it feels like if you're not optimizing this way of farming, people feels bad. And I believe this is something that Joseph want to talk about. It's about the bugs, right?
Yeah, as in this league, there's a lot of bugs. Like every other day you see Reddit people discovering new stuff. Like there was this buffer overflow. So
What? There was actually
yeah, so the mob HP increased after 2B or something, and then it became like 1 HP or something. And then there was the back to basic one. Like people are saying, like after you open the map, then you close the lantern and then you switch your atlas, so you get back to basic with your whole other atlas tree.
So I think the back to basics and then switch tree, I think it's an intended thing because it is designed. It is not a way of playstyle that players actually abuse. It's just that I think people happen to find out, how come? Because maybe they had a good lantern mod, they want to change to a tree. Then they realize, how come this tree is affected by back to basics? So I think this is where people start to realize maybe this is just a loophole that they never close up. So I believe as of the latest patch, they have already patched out this and the buffer overflow. So I think the buffer overflow came about last night, right after the patch where they fixed the essences and stuff. So basically, if you raise the monster HP together with like Party Quan, essences, tormented spirit, basically anything that can boost monster life, they use it so that once it go past 2.1 billion, it goes negative and into 1, right? So the person can just walk over with Righteous Fire and the monsters die. So I think it's a very clever way to play the game, right? But it's just unfortunately it's still a bug, right? It's not intentional that players want to do that. I just think maybe somewhere along the way, maybe some of the rarity, the quant boost and the rarity boost to rare monsters got the calculations got fucked somehow. I don't think monsters HP should go up to 2 billion. Yeah, so maybe something is wrong there. Yeah, so I hope GG can really fix that, so that there wouldn't be like 2.1 billion is something that you shouldn't be able to even imagine, right? But if they do raise the whole integer base, do you know what this means? This means dot cap will be something new again, because the current dot cap is based on 2.1.
Well, I like dot builds, but I've never hit dot cap before. I never played long enough to hit dot cap before on a build.
I mean, the dot cap is not really that hard these days, but yeah, I'm just saying that this is something that they cannot really very easily fix. So they either have to remove the whole feature away or just something, which I think they address with the hotfix this morning. So yeah, those are fixed already. So I get the feeling that some players who might not have that much time to play the game, every now and then, maybe during work, they see something cool on Reddit that they want to try when they go back home. And when they go back home and play, everything is fixed already. So I think there is this growing trend of FOMO. It came from last league, but I think it kind of exploded this league where there was a lot of bugs. People who were playing ungodly hours were abusing the bugs, getting rich. But whereas people with normal life, they cannot afford to do this, and eventually, they lose out on the whole economical risk.
Well, or you could be like me and find out like 5 seconds ago about these bugs, because like I totally didn't know these bugs existed.
But what do you all feel about like like previously when there are bugs and then GGG take like forever to fix them, and then in this league it's like there's a new bug every other day, but they are acting so much quicker to fix all this.
I mean, my 2 cents is that they have always fixed bugs that might benefit the players too much or mess with the economy, right? So, except for the HP bug, I think the HP bug should have been hotfixed. That one I got nothing to say. Yeah.
My personal opinion is that I like that they are fixing the economy. Like they want to attempt to interfere with the economy, because so I think there are bugs that if they don't fix, it looks bad on them. And then there are also bugs that you know that according to GG tradition, they wouldn't fix it because they don't really do mid-league nerfs or buff. But so currently, right, currently most of the bugs is in the first category, where if they don't fix, GG looks bad. And players are actually harping onto this because I know it looks bad, but how come we don't get a chance to abuse the bug? Right. So I get where they are coming from, and I really applaud GG for doing that, because I rather they fix so that the whole game looks better on GG and the players get fucked a bit, because eventually the economy smoothen out, right? Eventually, whatever you're gonna buy, like if you are going for Mage Blood, your Mage Blood won't go from 100 div to 300 div from one day, right? Whereas if they don't fix it, do you know that whatever you're going to drop in the next map that you're going to play is going to be worthless? So I don't think players see in the long term, but as of now, it seems like players are harping more onto the first case. For the second case, where we talk about the bugs that if they don't fix, like the mid-league nerfs, those kind are more like but I think players who play long enough PoE, they would know that GG don't really do mid-league nerfs. If it's really nerf, it must be breaking, and it's things that you might not understand. Like what Bayer said, he don't know about the bugs yet. These are just things that we see on Reddit. I'm sure there are bugs that it's not posted on Reddit and people are abusing it as of now when we are doing this podcast. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I think overall, if you look at both sides of the coins, I think I like what they are doing now. Like they are trying to interfere with very abusive case of messing the economy, which I really applaud, because the last thing you want to know is whatever you farmed the previous night, you can't afford to buy your things the next morning. That is the worst thing that you can feel when you're playing PoE as a softcore trade league MD, right? If you are playing solo self-found, then there wouldn't be any problem. You will just be playing your own game, right? Yeah.
Also, to be fair, from what I understand, tier 17s are very strong this league. So, you'll still be able to make a lot of currency even without like the bugs.
I mean, it doesn't drop. Okay, so from my limited experience in T17, where I farm like maybe close to 40 to 50 of them, right? The thing is that they don't drop direct currency out as much as you think it is, or maybe I'm just playing it wrong, right? But they do drop guaranteed fragments for the Uber bosses that is that normally covers the map cost. You won't lose out from the map. It's just that if you use a lot of chaos to reroll the maps, you might have a dent every now and then, but generally you won't lose out when you are farming T17. Yeah, you just have to understand your build very well so that you don't waste portals. And if you are using a specific strat to only farm T17, like back to basics, then I think that is one of the easiest way to get money. I think I can also share one strat later on. Like we are talking about the league and the bugs now, right? So maybe I'll share the strat later. Yeah. So I think now we want to go into this topic that Bias has brought up. Things that are normally of value or very overlooked this league, right? So maybe for Bias, you can start with your points.
All right. So one thing that everybody's talking about is elemental bowls. So supposedly, I haven't checked yet, but like supposedly elemental bowls are really cheap this league, and you could have almost mirror level elemental bowls this league for a slightly affordable price. So I think one thing to look out for is maybe people could try ranger builds that use elemental bowls, for example. Yeah.
How affordable are they right now?
So I believe we can maybe pull up a trade window. We can look for like maybe 1,700 DPS spine bow. See if it makes sense. Yeah, it's fine. We can slowly find. Right. You have to sign in. Oh, right. Okay. Then I think I'll find it when I'm not speaking, but I think from what I've seen, about a 1,700 or 1,600 elemental DPS bow should cost less than 10 divines. So in general, most of for previous leagues, such a bow would command maybe 20 to 35 divines generally for you to even buy something that good. And this league just nice, they actually have a gem that fits very well, which is the early hit of the spectrum. So you can use early hit of spectrum together with the early bows to actually do like you want to play the build. It's actually almost as good as old tornado shot. So you can try that out. I think it's pretty strong. Yeah. So if anyone who wants to play bow haven't had a chance to get a good bow, I think this is the league. I just wish that they would have bring back tinches so I can play the elemental bow poison builds. Right. Though those are really the things that I really want to play, but currently they are not really available.
So another thing that was brought up by L outside of the podcast is that Headhunter is supposedly quite cheap, right? Oh my god. Headhunter is 8 device right now. Do you think it's worth it?
So I think right, if you want to actually go fast with leveling, I think it's worth it to buy a 1,600 LE DPS bow for 10 div, buy a Headhunter for 8 div, set up all your gems. I think you can take a build from level 1 all the way to 100 in about 5 hours. If you know how to play, right?
Well, but the LE bows should be as in the required level should be quite high, right?
Yeah, so basically, so right after campaign, you should read about 60 plus. I think the requirement to wear a spine bow is usually 60 plus. I think a well-rolled one probably 68. Normally by level 68, you should be able to wear everything, unless it's like Opal rings, Vermilion rings. Those might need level 80. But generally, most of the gear you can gear it up by 68. So once you have that, actually you run with the scarabs, the shrine scarabs, you can actually get to 100 within 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, so Headhunter will bring you there faster. So I think at 8 divine, I think everybody should get one. I think everybody should get one. What this means is that you can actually fill up, like you can have your whole stash of your whole empty stash filled with chaos. You still got 2 rows of chaos left to buy some other things after you buy Headhunter. I'm just saying, right? Headhunter is record low, and I think people who haven't played Headhunter yet could play. It's not old Headhunter because old Headhunter had Soul Eater all the way up to unlimited stack, right? And back then there was this thing called reverse time chains. That was even more crazy, right? But currently, I think for what it is being priced for, I think it's easy to just buy a Headhunter and have fun in the game. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good to play if you are a Headhunter enjoyer.
I found my next build, guys.
Oh yeah, your Nimis is 125.
Okay, so currently, should we talk about the screw up things about the boss loots?
Wait, right before that. Is 125 device cheap or expensive?
So I've played Nimi's build since its release back in 3.19 or 3.220. So Nimi's every other league I've bought this ring. The cheapest that I bought Nimi's was 6 div. The most expensive that I bought Nimi's was 35 div. The league where it was released. So 125 div is unheard of. Yeah. And the only reason why Nimis is so expensive is because currently Nimis only drops from Uber Eaters of World. It's the rarest drop from him. And like I say, because the ring is being priced like that, the entry cost to even try the Uber Eater is, I believe back then it was 9 div to try, or 7 div. So you take with a grain of salt, if every entry is gonna be 7 div, the ring is being priced at 125. You math it out, it's about 1 in 20. That is what people give it the rates to be lah. But if you're lucky, the first one will drop for you. Yeah, if you're not lucky, maybe even you kill 50 Uber, you might not get it. Yeah.
But even your Mage Blood is cheaper than Nimis.
Yeah, so this is also where maybe it's good for us to talk about the whole boss loot rework. So what GG did this league was a bit special. They separated all Uber from normal version of themselves. So all the loots are different as well. So if you realize, I think currently the normal shaper drops the boots, the glove, the amulet, and the flask. So the flask being the most expensive one, right? The problem is that nobody likes to run shaper, right? So it ends up that Dying Sun becomes a very expensive commodity right now because nobody likes to farm normal shaper, but you have to farm quite a lot to actually get the flask. Yeah, same for Portal Fate from the Cortex, because now Uber Cortex is being separated from Cortex itself. I think Cortex only drops the glove. Nebulis is being allocated to the Uber drops really. So what? Maybe the helm is also part of the normal drops.
The chest is a normal drop.
Oh, chest is a normal drop as well. Okay, so Bottle Fate becomes a very expensive resource from the normal Cortex. So both Dying Sun and Bottle Fate is the same situation, right? Nobody wants to farm the normal version of the bosses. And because they are currently tagged to being the rarest item from them, the prices are like 11 divines and 13 divines each.
Isn't that like a good thing for people who can only do their normal bosses but not the Uber counterpart?
Yes, correct. So the thing is, right, now the normal shaper and Cortex are much more accessible for everybody, I feel. Right, because now Cortex only drops from the synthesized map bosses. So it's not really that hard to get. Actually, within 4, you should get 1 or 2. it's not really that rare now. So it's really more accessible. But the thing is that they skew the loot so much that to get what you want, to get the flask, you actually have to farm a lot. Right. So so I think they really tune it such that people really have to get their grind going on before they can even see. So it's a nerf to solo self found. But for trade people, they suffer by actually paying more. Right. Then same thing for the Ubers. So because people always have this mentality, if they can run Uber, why run the non-normal one? Right. So I just want to highlight. So the Thread of Hope, which is dropped from both normal and Uber Cyrus. The problem with the Uber Cyrus is it always drop massive right now because they cannot drop the same version already. So the massive ring Thread of Hope is about 50C. Right. But the normal Cyrus that you maybe get one in about 10 kills, Thread of Hope, that one sells for anywhere from 1 div to 15 div, depending on which radius you buy. Right. So you can actually just reroll the divine and reroll the mods on it just to earn a profit if you are into gambling. Right. So I don't really like where this is going. Like, because it used to be that massive, you have to pay like 10 to 15 div just to get the massive Thread of Hope to play around with it. But right now, massive is so much cheaper than the normal Thread of Hope. Massive is so much cheaper. 50C. So so what I'm saying right now is that some of the normal boss loots are so rare and so much more expensive than the Uber loots. And because most of the people have this mentality that once they do Ubers, they are not going back to the normal version. So it becomes like things like rational doctrine. It used to be the rational doctrine will cost about 10 to 15 div by this time of the league. But currently rational doctrine is about 4 to 5 div. Which if you think about it, rational doctrine gives you Inquisitor ascendancy. So it's a very strong jewel, but it's currently commanding only 4 div. So it doesn't really make sense. Like some of the boss loot don't make sense. So I think this is one of the league where if in the past you want to build something that is from Uber bosses that is either very expensive to get or very limited supply, I think this is the league where you can actually try. A lot of the items are so skewed in prices that it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Any other examples of like items that you've mentioned, like boss Uber boss loot? I mean,
so let's see. Yeah. So you still look at Void Forge, right? Void Forge and Star Forge, right? I believe Star Forge is a Uber Shaper drop, right? And it's the rarest Uber Shaper drop, which is very weird. Void Forge used to be Uber Elder, and as you know, Uber Elder was a bit bugged. It wasn't even dropping the Eternity Shroud, right? So currently you really don't know if the prices are accurate because the boss are dropping or not. And then plus the cards, the div cards for all the unique weapons are being nerfed from side deck, so they cannot spawn from side deck anymore, right? So currently, currently there was so many posts from boss killers this league where they mentioned that it's not looking good because they really have to hit the rare drops to actually profit from running bosses. So currently, I feel like bossing in this league is very weird right now because things that were having a lot of value it's not having value this league. Yeah. Melding is from normal. Uber Exile. What is the crazy drop from where is that? So okay, so annihilating light is in the Uber drop. which is very sad. I believe the rarest should be the glove and the curio. The curio is very rare though. Yeah, the curio is very rare. But the curio is just one of the fragments you use to make the new amulet, right? The utmost. The utmost. Okay, so they don't put it here because you actually have to buy 4 curios to make it below. Scroll down. The last one. Yeah. This is the hardest item to get because you have to buy 4 curios, put them together, and then they will become this. The roll range is almost as hard as a Ventus can roll. But if you manage to get everything good roll, this is a crazy amulet.
And it's corrupted, so you can't try to defeat.
But I like how they actually make some of the cool uniques common. Like the Cyrus dropped the Tempest boots just now. Can we go back to DB? Yeah, the Tempest Rising. So it's one of the new boots that I feel like is the last attempt for GG to try to buff bleed, melee bleed, right? Because the only requirement is for the enemies to have elemental ailment, right? This is actually the boots to play if you are playing bleed from melee lah, right? Because both still can use an ensnaring arrow, but for melee bleeds, this is the only option. Yeah. So I believe there is a lot of cool things to try out. It's just that currently I think the balance is off. So people who enjoy bossing this league should look at other alternatives to look for money. Yeah.
I mean, can't they just either run the normal bosses or just run sanctums?
Because okay, so the thing is, currently the value of normal bosses is also padded onto the rarest drop. You need to know that if they are running 20 normal shaper, how many gloves, how many boots are they going to get before they see the first dying sun? Right. So if they are not going to see the dying sun consistently, they wouldn't farm shaper. There's just too many obstacles to go just to try to get. Last time people could just farm and maybe out of 50 Maven they can get some that is good to sell, right? Whereas now it's really dying sun or nothing. It's Progenesis or nothing, right? If you don't get Progenesis, you are spending 90 for the entry. And how many 90s can you really go into until you don't want to play the game?
Well, I think it's a good time for them to buy a elemental bow, headhunter, and do some T17 maps or like T14 maps and like sell the T17 maps.
Yeah, the thing is, I believe that boss killers generally don't like to map. It's a dichotomy. So they really like just the one-on-one fight, or they really like to just blast maps and don't care about bosses. You seldom find someone that actually likes to do both. So I guess it's really not a good league for people who like to fight certain bosses. But if you are open to try out anything, I think this league is pretty fun. But if you're only blasting maps, I think this is also quite a decent league. Like you won't be trying out bosses, then just be the supplier, right? Just be the supplier to all the boss farmers, killers, right?
Um, before anything else, I'd like to point out that Kingmaker is actually quite cheap right now. For any of the summon boys, Kingmaker is like, give me a second. Kingmaker is like 130C, around one. Okay, it's more than one divine, but that's only because a divine is less than 100C. But
Why would you buy the Kingmaker when you can just buy a Soul Taker and just buy a Heartbreaker and fuse it?
yeah, you
Right.
could do that. You could do that. Yeah, but Kingmaker is cheaper now. So like animate Guardian Enjoyers might be pretty good.
Yeah. So I think this is the league where I think a lot of T0 units are very cheap. So are you guys looking to buy Mage Blood?
I mean, you guys are already sharing a Mage Blood, alright? So it's when's my turn? But I think I'll just try a Headhunter.
For me, I guess I think it depends. Currently, still looking at ways to improve the build. And then Mage Blood is like that's like I don't think that's the biggest upgrade. I guess the biggest upgrade would be like some power charge ring, and then anyway, your Kalandra ring is like what, 2 diff?
Yeah. So I think this league is similar to last league, where in the sense that T0 units are cheap again. So people who have missed out playing Kalandra Touch, or they have missed out to use the Squire, I think this is the league. To mention about the Squire, right? Because Squire is also a T0 unit that is cheap, right? Yeah, you can actually consider, because this league is also the league where people are making easy fractured shaper items and elder items, right? So what this means is you can attempt to make your own shaper or elder swords, preferably the highest one, the one where you convert everything to one element, right? It should be archaic spirit blade or something. So you make that into you use the graveyard to craft a shaper or elder base. Hopefully they are being fractured with 3 gems. So you try to use the awakening orb to awaken the other influence into it, so that you can make a multi-link sword or claw.
Right. That's all cool and all. But you realize, right, that the Squire is now eligible for 1 div challenge builds.
Yeah, I mean to get off playing, right, you can actually just get a Poet's Pen and Squire, and I think you'll be set for a while, right?
Or like a Arakali's Fang. Oh, I found one the other day.
I'm getting off, man. I'm getting off so hard right now.
So I mean the fact that you can actually use you can plan around your builds using things like Squire, you can play Poet's Pen, you can play so many new kind of stuff.
Oh, it's Hip Forge 190C.
Okay, let me tell you why. Because there's a scarab that guarantees ultimatum, the boss, right? So I think if you have a build that can always kill the Trial Master under no conditions, I think Hate Forge is a given. You eventually get it. You see, yeah. It really just depends on how much you really throw at the scarabs. Yeah. And like I say, okay, so if this league is how it's going to be, so H Forge is not going to be expensive. So I think anybody can try to consider to buy H Forge and play. Because I think H Forge is a very unique item.
I mean, what do you do with Hitforge, by the way? Because like I never touched the item before.
It is an item that you can actually, it has rage on it, right? So you can actually do the vow, you can keep using vow skills. Vow attack skills you use cost rage instead of requiring souls. So you disable the whole soul mechanics to vow skills. So you can use things like vow lightning strike. So you just use and then it covers the whole screen and then you go to the next place to vow. So if you just need to have ways to get rich. So rich will be your resource that you use to do the attacks. Yeah, so you can permanently do like vow lightning strike, vow molten strike, vow spectral. So I don't know which vow skills are good, but in general, I believe Hitforge players always use vow lightning strike, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Vow Molten Strike seems good too.
Does Volcanic Fissure have a vow version? Have, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of potential with Hitforge. I didn't know it was so cheap. So, I mean, we can look at it. It looks really good. Yeah. And I think this is also maybe one of the leagues where I actually tried Squire. I haven't tried Squire in any league. Because Squire you used to be like a 20 divine, 30 div item. You don't really look at Squire until you really got a surplus of money.
I'm going to get a Squire build. I don't care. Actually, wait. Should I get a Squire build or should I get the bow build with the Headhunter? Oh no.
I think you should get the bow build with the Headhunter. Cause I don't see Squire becoming expensive anytime soon. Yeah, if you have the money, you must well just play the alley bow with Headhunter because you're not going to use the alley bow to play Squire, right? It's one or the other. Yeah, Headhunter can use for both builds, whether you want to go Force Pen with Squire or you want to go with the bow.
I know. I can get the Ellie wand with the Squire, and then like. Oh wait, but Squire is usually for spells, right?
No, Squire normally 4 attacks.
Okay. Then I can get the Squire with the Ellie wand, and then I'll beat the shit out of everything. Oh, Ellie hit of Spectrum is also can be used as a wand, right?
Okay, but let me tell you, the only reason why bows are easy to craft is because there's no spell mod. So wands are the hardest thing to craft currently with the graveyard.
Yes, but we got the graveyard. As long as there's a will, there's a way.
It doesn't really work that way, but okay. I mean, if you found a way to get triple alley wands, do let me know. I also want to know how to craft because currently, if you understand the graveyard, it seems very difficult to craft. In ranking, alley and fist wands are very hard to craft. I think alley rune daggers, fist rune daggers are the second in line. Anything after that actually actively blocks out the other mods are relatively easy. Like if you are doing war stuff is very easy to craft fist, but it's not really easy to craft alley damage. It's usually like that, right? It's just that the hardest 2 weapons to craft is definitely the wonders, alley wonders and fist wonders. Those are hard to craft because it has spell mods to it, right? Rune dagger is the same situation as wands. It's just that rune daggers have spell mods, and also if you are targeting the gem fractures, they have socketed melee gems. So that one is also a troublesome thing to consider. Yeah. Anything other than that, I think there is a way to graveyard craft and abuse to make one decent one out. Yeah.
I think you shouldn't play alley one with Squire because you can just 6-link your chest, right? So like the Squire is more for like 12-link items or your Poet's Pen, Arakali's Fang, Mjolnir.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I thought. Like they wouldn't use it for attacks, because attacks means you cannot use 12 links or something like that.
So like I mentioned just now, so if you actually craft a shaper sword or claw, it has those multi-strike socketed gems are affected by multi-strike, increased attack, increased crit damage, increased crit strikes. So what you do is you fracture since now you can fracture influence gear, you fracture a few of them, and then you use the corresponding influence. Like if you fracture the elder mod, then you want a shaper mods to go into it. So you use the awakening orb. Once you go there, and then you can start to craft around so that you get almost five additional links there. So together with the 3 links and the square 3 links, you are effectively having like 11 to 12 link attacks. Yeah, and the only part that you really have to worry is your mana cost. Yeah, which shouldn't be a problem if you are playing attacks, because you can mana leech back. Normally for the attacks is easier, but if you are playing spells, I don't know how you're gonna manage the mana cost. Yeah. So I think we are going one whole circle with the loots already, with the drops already, with all the uniques. So maybe we talk about some of the future plans, maybe for the next podcast, or that we can report on for the next podcast. So what do you have in plans, Joseph?
I think I would want to change out my Atlas strategy, because currently it's just the running Delirium with Harvest, right? Then I think I would look into the Guardian farming, try to sustain all your Guardian map and your Synthesis map and stuff. Yep.
With the same build or what?
Yeah, currently with the same build. Don't really have anything in mind right now.
Okay, so what's up for Bias? I think you mentioned that you want to make video on the white map strategy.
Oh, right. So I will be making a video, hopefully. I'll be making a video for white mats and yellow mat strategies. The first one would be Bestiary. Spoiler, Bestiary is actually really good at low investments. If I will cover this in the video, but it can be started at 2C a map. You don't actually need the Black Morrigan one if you're just starting out and you really want to spend as little as you can with on the investment. Yeah. And I will probably be trying Elemental Bow with Headhunter. The strategies for the strategies will be counted as per map. So I will let the speed of the map like be handled by your own calculations. That's at least that's my plan. So I won't say like 10 diffs per hour while using a god bow and like a freaking headhunter. I'll just say like how many diffs you can expect to get from 20 maps, which I think it's a decent sample size.
What's the yellow map strategy that you have in mind?
It's probably essences, which is nerf right now, but I'll probably try it or a version of it somehow. And hopefully with the bow character, I can go faster. Then I can try many different strategies that is either white or yellow map focused. Yeah.
So that's all. Are you playing? Oh, so you are going to use the new build, which is the Ellie Bow and Headhunter, to farm for both strategies?
Yes, if I'm going to get it off the ground. If I'm too lazy, I'll just use my own Karen Golem. Because like my Karen Golem is actually very chill. And I have a Defiance of Destiny. So I can watch anime. Or somebody, please come to the stream. Seriously, please come to the stream to talk to me. I got nothing to do.
Okay, that's nice. Think so lastly, for my own plans, I think I mean I've committed to lending my mage blood to Joseph until the end of the month. So yeah, so I'm just chilling around. I am intending to bring my Poison Pathfinder. As of now, it looks like I should play to 100. I am one level away, but the problem is that the grind from 99 to 100 is really long, and I'm not sure if I got the determination to do it. So yeah.
But doesn't Path of Evening have a way to hit level 100 easily or something?
Yeah, it's basically the same method. It is the domination scarab of teachings with one more scarab for shrine. So either you put +2 shrine or you use the abnormal shrines with 2 other scarabs of breach. So your tree is all tuned towards shrine and breaches. So the moment you go in, take a few shrine buff, open the breaches that you can see on your map, kill them. You will get around I'm at 99 now. So just now I did a map before I came out. Roughly I get about 2 to 3% per map. So I should be done in about 33 to 33 to 50 maps. Is the 50 maps the top end, 33 is the lowest. So it really depends on the variance. If I do get some lucky mod from Lantern and I tune it with some of the Untainted All Flames, I generally can do it quite fast. So maybe within the next 1 or 2 days, if I get to 100, the plan is to use the Pathfinder to farm some of the bosses that I want to do and maybe try out some other strats, because my old Hex Blaster Trickster was good at running all map content. It's just that sometimes the DPS is not enough. So I believe the Pathfinder would be able to patch up the shortcomings of what my Trickster don't have. It has both survivability and damage. So this is the goal of the build. After this, I'll be playing another build which I have already thought of a crazy name for it, but it's gonna be a build that I try to advertise to buyers and Joseph, but I think buyers try out and he didn't like it. So it is the Blade Blast of Dagger Detonation with the mines.
Oh yeah, that was the build that I totally forgot about. Not good for low budget. Seriously.
Because my current build is so hipster that I don't think people would actually want to play. I think eventually if I min-max it to a certain stage, if it's really that good, I might want to see if I have the resources to make a video for a build showcase. I don't think there is a need for a guide unless people wants to see how I actually built the character. But to promote the build, it's going to be a Raider Miner. It is going to be a bit off meta. So I like to create off meta builds with off meta items. And if it happens to be strong, then yeah, I will do a build showcase. Yeah. That's all from my side. So anything else you guys want to add for the podcast?
Nope, I think we're cool here.
Okay, then let us end the podcast. So thank you everyone for listening, and this is Big L signing out.
Bye.
Bye.